Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I'm doing a very special review, impressions of a knife that's been in my collection for quite a while. And I wanted to talk about it because I've done the unboxing and have enjoyed this quite a bit. It's been in a lot of videos, but I haven't really talked about the knife as far as my review and impressions. I wanted just to tell you, my thoughts on it. There's some knives that I feel like I've had them for a while and I really haven't given you my full review impressions. And I thought this would be a good one to talk about. So let's get into this. This knife name is the Urban XL. It's a custom Trevor Burger. That is the designer, is Trevor Burger. The manufacturer is Trevor Burger. So it is a custom knife made by him. Beautiful purple fat carbon. You can barely see some of the, let's zoom in a little bit. You'll see some of the purple flakes in there. It's very subtle, which I like a lot. You can kind of see some here. I think that's just a nice touch. It's just enough that it's got some accents, but it's not overwhelming in your face. To me, that is like a perfect aesthetic, right? Now, I started off with my first production Trevor Burger. It was the Urban EDC, the Trevor Burger LC. And that's pretty cool little production knife made by Riot. Loved it. Did a few modifications on there. I fixed the clip that was kind of weird, and I fixed the jimping. It was a little aggressive, and I put in some skiff washers and all that. Well, in this version, I don't have to do any of that. It came in perfect, right? So, I mean, kind of what you would expect, especially in this range and everything. So he is the designer. So the material's purple fat carbon. Back here is titanium, beautiful frame lock. There is a steel bar insert, which I think is really cool. Sometimes they do a carbonized titanium, but this just allows a little less worry about with carbonization and lock stick. And it's beautiful thin, and look at this beautiful, all the little touches on here are amazing. There's no sharp edges there, no sharp edges over here. The clip is perfectly rounded. It doesn't dig in anywhere. Everything's chamfered all the way around. There's no harsh corners anywhere. If you do a really close view, you can even see the screws were beautifully rounded as they come in here. It's just a nice aesthetic. It's just screws on one side over here. These are T8s, and I believe that is a T10. I actually never checked. Let's take a look here. I got to find my tool real quick, so excuse me. I think it's a T10. Or maybe it's a T15. Yeah, it's a T10. All right, so a T10 there, and then the other ones are T8s. So I didn't show you the other one. That was a T8. Yeah, so T8 right there. Very, very cool. Beautifully bronze anodized pivot collar and screws around there. Nicely kind of a dark titanium, like a, I don't know, we call it stone wash or whatever. Really, really nice. So that is done really well. Everything's chamfered. The clip is beautifully rounded, goes in and out of the pocket, really nice. A back spacer. It does have a lanyard hole here, so lanyard people rejoice. It is right-hand tip up only, hidden screw, the hardware's inside, but this is all nice and rounded. There's nothing sharp there, and sometimes that's really uncomfortable. I know Giant Mouse, I want to love some of their knives, but man, after a while I've had them here and they dig in and cause a blister. They're just out of consideration. So everything on here is phenomenal. Beautifully dead centered. It's a top flipper. Let's open this up. This is M390 blade steel, hand ground, incredible, crazy hollow grind. I don't know if you can see that. Beautifully done down to a crazy, ridiculous, sharp, thin edge. Is crazy sharp. I mean, you can shave with this puppy, I'll just tell you that much. And this beautiful hand ground satin finished, satin finish is phenomenal. I don't know if we can get a little shadows on there, but man, it's just so stinking beautiful. I just wish I could get a little better shadow. You can see that hollow grind, but it is just stinking amazing. Lockup, we're good 25-30% there. No blade plates, and they're solid. We go down, beautiful action to the close. No detent lash, right? There's no pivot lash, goes in and out. These washers, I don't know what the washers are. Sometimes people have their own. Sometimes there's two really big name brand washers that people use. Sometimes it could be a Skiff and another one, I forget. It's the same one Koenig Arias uses. And I don't know if he uses or he makes his own custom washers himself. I'm not sure, but I can just tell you the washers that are in here are just phenomenal. The action is beautiful, sputtery smooth. Now with that full hollow grind goes all the way to the top. I can get my middle finger in here and I can do a reverse middle finger flick, which is like a bonus flick. I like that. And also the cutaway here on that knife is just really nice. You'll see a little chamfering here. You'll see it up here. It's got a nice little angle. It's full access. Your finger gets in there. It's easy to get a part of. It's not tiring. It absolutely can be done all day. This knife is meant to be fidget fidget friendly all day long. So I love that. I absolutely love that. And it works even backwards here. You can get over here on the low part over there. You can reverse flick it, which is really nice, right? So, and then the top flipper over here works really nice as well. What I like about this flipper and the jimping is just perfect. I can also do a little knuckle roll right there. And then sometimes if my fingers were a little longer, I could do that slow reach around, but my fingers are a little short, right? So I have large hands, got plenty of room in here. Extra large, double extra large hands, absolutely room. If you choked up, triple extra large for sure. There is jimping right here. It works well, it's functional. Not up here, but it's pretty flat because that beautiful hollow grind comes to a very nice, strong tip. Great for poking open dog food, cat food, fertilizer, cases of water, mulch, cat litter, letters, boxes, opening, Christmas presents, anniversary presents, whatever you want to. This is a very functional knife. Do I carry this? Yeah, absolutely I carry this. Oh, by the way, the blade to ratio handle is perfect. I mean, full utilization of the handle. I think that's phenomenal. Really, really well done. So, yeah, really, really nice. It has just a very nice, strong opening. It's just really comfortable. Feels really good. It's like, this is a front flipper. And if you're not a front flipper fan, maybe it's not for you. But I can tell you, even as a person who wasn't a super front flipper fan, once I got a hold of this design of front flipper, I became a front flipper fan. I really like this front flipper. This front flipper is flipping freaking fun. How about that for a few F's? Trying to do a little alliteration there, but I mean, it's just great. It really is. It's fantastic. So the action is beautiful. I don't think it's a captive pivot, but if it's anything like Arno Bernard and any of the other customs, usually they lock one of the pivots in really, really well to the pivot hole, or the right, and then these screws are, one of them is permanently attached. The other one is, excuse me, the one you unscrew. I have never taken this knife apart. I've not had to tune it ever. It's been perfect out of the box. Just phenomenal. Kind of what you expect at this price and this range. Now that's my fault right there, because the action's so buttery smooth. I'll let it open up again. If I'm gonna open this, I should open it right there like that. So it just closes really nice. Okay. Cutaway, we talked about that. It is a frame lock. Easy access. Your fingers aren't going to be on there, so that's really, really nice. So let's get into the measurements. Let's weigh this guy, because I'm sure you're going to be surprised at the weight. It really is a beautiful, wonderful weight for this knife. So let's see. So we're at 2.66 ounces. A lot of that has to do with the carbon fiber scale. One of these scales is completely carbon fiber, but at 2.66 ounces, let's look at the overall length of this knife. So the overall length is exactly 8 inches. It's 8 inches long. If you look at the handle from the very tip to here, you got about 4¼ inches. You could sort of choke up to get close to 4 and 3/5 or something like that, I guess, if you wanted to push it. But just that's nice. From the tip to the very back of the handle, we're about 3. I want to say 3 and 9/16, I want to say, or 10/16. I don't know. It's close. It's a little bit further back there. Overall cutting length from the tip to here, we're looking at just under 3½ inches. Yeah, we're about 3 and I want to say 3 and 5/8, or 3 and 3 3/8 or something like that. So pretty good, pretty good. All right, so let's look at the blade stock thickness. Now, I mean, all things be true, just know that it's such a crazy hollow grind. We're just measuring the top here, okay? So we're measuring the top blade stock thickness up here. Make sure we're 0. Okay. So the blade stop thickness up there is 125 thousandths of an inch. 125 thousandths of an inch. I mean, if we were to go to the absolute behind the edge, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's super thin. So we'll just leave it at that. I don't normally measure that, but it's thin because of this hollow, crazy ground. So I like it. I like that a lot. All right, so that's the measurement. So what does this fall into? Is this a high-end knife? No. It's above $600. You're looking at a knife that's $875. So it's close to $900, almost $1,000 knife. If you got anything with Timascus on this, it'd be over $1,000. The Timascus version of this exact same knife is $1,200 to $1,500. So in this, a very basic version, it's $875, which is a great deal for this quality of a knife. You may think that is insane. It's not. You can tell the difference. I can tell the difference between the production version made by Riot and this version made by Trevor Berger. It's night and day. Now, the one made by Riot is a phenomenal production version. It's outstanding. It is. but this custom version is just that much better. It absolutely is that much better. Guarantee it. All right. So for you to know that, you really, I guess you have to go out there and try it yourself. That's my recommendation, right? But I think it really is. Is this everyday EDC? Yeah, it is. I do EDC this. Now, is this hard use EDC? Absolutely not. Now, I carry it to open letters, boxes. Yeah, I do. If I'm having to do anything, I will have a 5th pocket knife with me. I will not use this to open up, bottles of wine. I will not use this to cut into heavy duty cardboard if I got to get in there. No. This is, I still like to use my knives. Every knife I buy, I want to use. I don't like to have a knife in my collection if I can't enjoy carrying it. So it includes this one, right? And right now that's about as crazy as I'll get with carrying something, but I love carrying it. It's a lot of fun. It's very fidgety. Is it hard use? Okay, so this is my perspective. No, this is not a hard use knife. Now, if you carried, $5,000 knives, yeah, you can make this a hard use knife, but that's all relative, right? That's relative to what you consider as a budget knife. Your budget knife might be a knife under $500. I don't know, not quite for me, but that might be your case, right? So for me, this would not be a hard use. This is a collection piece, absolutely. Now, every collection piece I have is carried, and I enjoy carrying it. I want to enjoy that. But this is absolutely a collection piece. This completely falls into that category. For some people, it may be a safe queen. For others, it may you buy 2, one you beat up. I don't know. But for me, I'm definitely going to be carrying this and enjoying it. All right, so let's look at the design overall. As a custom knife maker, you can absolutely tell all the little specific details in this knife, all the things that are done that make this knife absolutely stand out and blows me away. Everything from the chamfering, the rounded corners, even the inside corners here on this lock, there's no sharp edge right there. Everything where your hand moves is just very, very, very refined. Very refined. It's very exact. And you even see his Trevor Burger TBC, Trevor Burger Custom, the TBC, which is their little kind of print on the inside, and I don't know if it has any labeling on here. I never actually looked, so I should probably look. I don't think I really did look. Is there any writing on the inside of the knife? I don't think there is, besides that Trevor Burger Custom. Let's see, is there anything on this side? No. But beautifully, you can see the hollow out. It's been hollowed out fantastically. That's why this thing is so light. It's ridiculously light. It feels crazy light. The first time you feel it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is almost too light. But when you see all the milling, you understand. But it's still such a solid knife. As light as it is, it's absolutely solid. So yeah, the design is great. The front flipping works great. By the way, drops really nice. I can do the little knuckle there. Works really, really nicely as well. If my fingers were a little bit longer, it'd probably be a little easier to do that over the top. I can do it. It's not as comfortable because my fingers are short, but I think it's really wonderful. And I love the bonus middle finger reverse flicking. That's just really nice. And it's so easy on this with that hollow grind. Absolutely think that's just fantastic. Opening, closing, you saw it right there. Beautiful snap, beautiful opening and closing. It's just such a solid knife. And the closing, the drop, you have this little sharpening tool catches on your finger. You're not going to feel a guillotine. Drops, and then it just kind of buttery smooth closes together. It's not a guillotine that's going to cut your finger, but it does have a very controlled, very smooth stop. I like that a lot. So fidget factor 1 through 10. Well, the front flipper works really great and has multiple ways to deploy it. The hollow grind works really great, and I can do it front, left and right handed. So I really like that. So I'm going to give this, it is limited to some degree. Okay. So to be fair, this is probably going to be a 6. Okay. Technically, no, a 5. It's going to be a 5, excuse me. This will probably be 5. And that's a generous 5 because it's done so well. Probably closer if this wasn't done and executed so well, it'd be a 4. But this is definitely a solid 5 to me with the way this is executed, because the front flipper works really well like this. It works really well with the knuckle. That's all fine and good. And look at this. I can slow roll that puppy open, right? So that's always nice. And then you can do over the top. If my fingers were just a little bit longer, it'd be a little bit easier, I think. Easy to drop and catch with the thumb, easy to use the middle finger to reverse flick. All that is just really nice. So that's why it gets a 5 out of 10. So how about that 5 out of 10? Out of that 5, what's the fidgety goodness? Is it 0? Is it 100%? Is it an A, B, or C? Well, to me, 100% all the way. That's the whole reason why you go for this, right? You're looking for that 100% wow factor, and this has it, has every bit of it. So if you're ever wondering, is this a knife that yeah, you really should. I think so. I have no doubts recommending this. I think you will not be disappointed. If you even got the Urban EDC LC and you liked it, you liked the overall aesthetics, maybe you didn't like the clip. I know some people returned theirs, got rid of it because the clip was horrible. I fixed my clip. Now it works great on my production model. And that clip, what I did in my production model, is what they do in the custom, right? You can see that right there. It's beautiful, right? So I definitely think that's worth considering. Yeah, so it is done really, 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 really well. Got my train of thought lost there as I'm enjoying this knife. Every time I have this in my hand, it's just so much fun to just use and carry. It really is. You get distracted. And I was going to say the Urban EDC exclusive Urban LC. Yeah. That one is done really well. If you like that one, if you liked it at all, and you saw some potential, if you thought the jimping was a little rough, maybe you wish it was not as rough. If you thought the action could be a little bit better, maybe you put skiffs in, it would be really nicer. If you thought that clip was a little aggressive and you wanted it to be a little more rounder, any of those things, but you like the knife, you will love this because everything is done right on this knife. It really is. It's done really, 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 really well. And I think this is the everything it should have been, could have been as far as production, and I think people will absolutely be pleased and enjoy this and blown away by it. So I do suggest putting this into your collection. I think you will not be disappointed. I absolutely recommend this knife. It's going to be high-end recommended knife. It's going to be a recommended knife overall. So absolutely 100%. And that's why it's still in my collection. It's not going anywhere. I really enjoy this knife a lot. This is probably one of the highest end knives in my collection right now. I mean, is it like my Grail of Grails? There's another one. It's a little less expensive, but it is definitely in that collection realm. Probably in the same cost range now. It's gotten more expensive, that one. So, but really phenomenal. So there you go. So my overall thoughts, absolutely recommend it. Hey, if you have any questions about this knife, if you have any questions about Trevor Burger Customs or even the production version, do comment down below. I'd love to talk to you and hear from you. I do try to interact with all the different conversations that we have, and I do enjoy that very much. It's part of the channel that I really enjoy a lot. I like that, learning from people, hearing from people. Hopefully you learn a little something from me. I know I do learn things from you guys, and I always appreciate that. So I feel like if you're not learning, if you're not growing, if you're not learning, then if you're not, what is it saying? If you're not growing, you're dying, right? So that's how I feel. I feel like I'm always got to learn something new, and I'm okay with that. I like that. I know I don't know everything. I just give you my experiences, my thoughts, and they change over time, right? I mature, I change, I learn new things. I have a different perspective on things. Maybe something I like now that I didn't like before, and that's okay. That's all right. We all are allowed to change. We're all allowed to like different things as we discover new things. It's okay, right? That's part of the joy of knives and the creation and the design. I think it's there may be an aesthetic you can always tie through all of your things that you like, but that can morph with different versions and different ways to look at it. And I love that. I love that about the knife community. So enough rambling there. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, entertaining, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? If you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel, allows the channel to grow, produce more things, help more people. I would very much appreciate that. It allows me to do more things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to every one of you guys. And if you haven't already, also consider being a member. I would love that. To all my members, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to you guys. I appreciate every one of you out there. You guys are awesome. There is a link down below. If you've been on the fence, maybe consider wanting to be a member. There's 3 different tiers. There's a very inexpensive one. If you'd love to help support the channel, I would love to have you. It would be a great honor. Also, if you haven't already, for everybody, maybe hit that notification button down below so you can be notified of future content. And finally, go over to Instagram and check me out over there at robs_nerdy_knives. Thank you so much. Again, that's robs_nerdy_knives on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.